One way of putting it. So this is Rishi Sunak criticises Gary Neville after Qatar rant. And I'm sure many of you have seen it. Gary Neville went on this rant where he said we can never accept human rights abuses in this region or any other region. And it's just worth mentioning we've got a current government in our country that are demonising rail workers, ambulance workers and terrifying nurses. So he used the Qatar, he made a sort of tasteless analogy between Qatar's human rights abuses and our own striking situation. And the other thing is, was it appropriate when you're watching the football to go on a sort of Labour Party political broadcast? And I thought if you are going to do that, at least have Roy Keane give the positives of Milton Friedman to just balance it out a bit. Do you know what I mean? And I thought it was...
Keane is in man for Austrian economics.
I think so. And Keane was sat there. He missed a great opportunity, Keane, because he could have said, you're a train driver. That's your job, because that's his catchphrase. So he missed a great opportunity.
I would agree with you. I thought it was not so much that the conversation shouldn't be had, or even that Gary Neville shouldn't have it. Could quite easily put it if he's got a column in the Sun. But it did seem a bit odd in the midst of what is probably the single greatest World Cup final of our lifetimes.
Yes,
and what it was a rather unnecessary thing to even bring up the Qatari immigrant crisis, which they've had an entire month pretty much to discuss to our heart's content, really. Yeah. To bring even that back in, let alone then to start making some comparison with the nurses.
And the one part I've not even mentioned is that Gary Neville took Qatari money to cover it. So
can't help wondering if there's a little bit of a guilty conscience.
Well, I believe, isn't there a football term, deflection?
Yeah.
Isn't that what was going on? That's what it seemed like to me. This is my big moment to sort of not seem such a hypocrite. And that's what he was. He was a hypocrite.
I think you might be right there. Although nobody, I don't think, at that point... I mean, that was the thing. The funny thing was, in the first week or two, maybe there was a bit of that. That's pretty much been laid to rest because, bizarrely, and I'm not saying this offsets, migrant deaths or whatever, although those numbers are very hard to really pin down. It has been an extraordinary success. The football has been great. The experience of watching a World Cup in our winter, I think, has been surprisingly satisfying.
I've got to be honest, I haven't watched...
I
didn't watch any of it.
But that's not... Some extraordinary...
I heard that a lot. I heard the final was amazing.
And the only downside is that it was rigged for Messi to win. But
Yeah, it was, Ronaldo will certainly...
I know, I think it's backfired on Qatar, but that's...
We will see. Nick, over to you now, still in the mirror.